Lieutenant Paul Rorrison, R-O-R-R-I-S-O-N. Tonight our officers responded to a call in the 1900 block of Cable Street regarding a fight involving somebody with a shotgun. Our officers quickly arrived on scene and set up a perimeter around a house in the 1900 block. Officers initially contacted an individual that might possibly be the suspect, or was thought to be the possible suspect. He was taken into custody. There was another female out in front of the residence who was obviously under the influence of some kind of controlled substance or drunk. And at that point, she was uncooperative and was banging on the front door asking for officers to shoot her. Our officers maintained their perimeter. A SWAT incident was called where SWAT officers responded to assist and supplement our patrol officers. The female was eventually taken into custody without incident. At that point, we had a containment on the residence, and we directed our SWAT personnel to go in and do a direct and clear and check for if there's any additional subjects inside the residence, fearing that somebody might be injured. Our officers made entry, cleared the house, found that nobody else was inside. We did recover a homemade shotgun that was identified by one of the witnesses as being the one that the suspect was used in the altercation that took place behind the residence. Right now we have the female and another male in custody, and we do have the weapon in custody also.
What are they charged with?
Right now we're ascertaining what kind of charges we have, whether we have an assault with a deadly weapon charge or just a, I would call it 417, a threatening with a weapon. Our detectives will be handling that along with patrol officers, and they'll be providing appropriate charges before they're booked into jail.
Do you know the relationship between the two? Are they roommates? Like, that's kind of what I heard originally.
It appears that they are roommates. It appears there was several people that actually stay in the residence, at least 3, possibly 4, and we have 2 of those people in custody.
Any history of the law enforcement being involved at this residence?
Not that I know of.
So let me just get this right. A woman was on the front porch.
Correct.
Under the influence of some sort of drug or, we don't know, alcohol or
Correct.
something, right, substance. And then she was yelling erratically. I mean, what was the call? The original call came in as a man with a weapon?
There was original call that there was a fight taking place and one of the suspects was armed with a shotgun. So obviously that's a very hot call for us. It gets a very quick response with a large allocation of officers responding to the location.
Large. I mean, this is massive. I've never seen so many
Well,
officers.
I had to bring in officers from different divisions. That's from our SWAT team. They supplement in a tactical situation like this. They are brought in from different divisions throughout the city. Our SWAT officers are deployed in each division throughout the city. So if there is a critical incident such as this, that I can deploy them from other divisions and bring them in as a resource, also with a tactical advantage.
So the man and the woman were in the front of the house?
No, originally when the officers got here, the altercation took place behind the residence, according to the witnesses. Two males were actually fighting, and one of them was armed with a shotgun. One of those males fled the scene prior to the arrival of our officers. One of the other male suspect who supposedly had the shotgun was found behind the residence. He was not armed at that time. He was taken into custody. He was somewhat uncooperative with the officers who originally responded. He was taken into custody. At that point, when the additional resource came, we found the female at the front of the residence. She had come out and the door was locked behind her. She was banging on the door and then confronted our officers, pleading with them to shoot, just go ahead and shoot her. At that point, we brought in an arrest team because, first of all, we had to take her out of the problem. We didn't want her getting back inside that residence. We didn't know if there was additional armed suspects inside. So she was eventually coaxed out, where she was taken into custody without incident.
Were you looking for that third gentleman?
Right now, we have identified who it is, and it's one of our reporting parties, so he is not involved as far as being a suspect in anything right now, but we have spoken with him.
Were residents evacuated near that area?
No, what we did is we contain the area. When we set up our perimeter, we keep all pedestrian and vehicular traffic out of the area, so the corner here of Saratoga and Cable was locked down. All the other residents were directed to stay inside their residence at this time. Obviously, there's a lot of people that live in this area, so we had to, when people started coming out and hearing the commotion, we had to direct them to go back inside for their safety. At this point, we've released the scene, so they are free to come out now. We've released the traffic barricades at this point also. So
no one else is in danger?
No.
Okay, fantastic.